Gentlemen, welcome to Fort Mackinac. My name is John. I'll be firing the cannon for you here. The cannon that I'll be firing for you is a half-pound cannon. It's called a half-pound cannon because it shot a cannonball that weighed
Half pound.
very good. And it went a distance of half a mile. Very good. Now, the cannons on the upper gun platform up there are 6-pounders, and they would shoot a cannonball that weighed and went
6 miles.
1 mile. Works every time. They had a range of 1 mile, and they would shoot a 6-pound cannonball, and they would be used to defend against ships out in the harbor. Smaller cannons here on the lower gun platform are half-pounders, shot a half-pound ball, and they would have been used as anti-personnel weapons. You can imagine a golf ball going about a half a mile would not do too much damage to a ship. So these were located on the lower gun platform, overlooking the entrance ramp to the fort, and shot something called grape shot. This is an example of a half-pound grape shot. Is a wooden or a steel core wrapped with a series of musket-type balls tied up in muslin and string. When it was loaded into the cannon and fired out, it would act like a modern-day shotgun shell. It would spray out in all directions, ricochet down the ramp, and hopefully kill or injure any troops trying to come up and attack the front of the fort. We thought it was hard this morning walking up Heart Attack Hill. Imagine what it would have been like with 2 to 3 grape shot coming at you every minute. Now, it usually took a crew of 2 men to load and operate a cannon this size. I am those 2 men today. The first man to step up to the cannon was called the matros. The matros's job was to clean and prepare the cannon for firing. He would start with the brass gunner's pick. Brass so as not to create any more sparks. Runs that down the vent hole, and that breaks away any carbon that may be building up from the previous firing. Now, the next tool we'll use is called the worm. You'll notice a little corkscrew-like catches on the end. The worm is run down the barrel, given a twist, and that will pull out any debris that may be left in the breech of the cannon. Or pennies and rubber alligators and chestnuts. We find all sorts of good things in there. Now, the next tool we use is the wet swab. The wet swab is a stick, some cloth on the end, moistened, and run down the barrel. It will serve 2 purposes. It will cool the barrel off. After repeated firings, the barrel would get rather hot. It will cool the barrel, and it will extinguish any sparks that may be left burning inside of the barrel. Now, we have to keep our powder dry. We do that with a dry swab. Dry swab is just a wet swab that isn't. It's run down the barrel, and it will pull out the excess moisture we just placed in the barrel with the wet swab. Now, the cannon is all cleaned, and the most important job of the matros now is to load the main gunpowder charge. About a 1/4 cup of black gunpowder here in aluminum foil. They would have used muslin. The muslin burns and sets the side of the hill on fire, and they don't let us do that anymore. So we use Reynolds wrap. That is secured to the back of the cannon with a crooked ramrod. It's a French design ramrod to keep my hands away from the end of the barrel. In case it would accidentally go off now while I was pounding the gunpowder, it would just take the ramrod out of my hand and not my hand along with it. Proof that the crooked ramrod actually worked. These things right here. Now, the job of the matros is complete, and the gunner would step up to the cannon. Gunner on the wall. Pick up the back end of it and point it around at his target. Wait. Has anybody had any bad service from any place down in town? Any restaurants or hotels giving you problems? Anybody? Anybody? Where? Give me a target.
Oh, and the Iroquois.
The Iroquois? The O.
Oh, and Iroquois.
First or second?
The second.
Second O?
Yeah.
In the Iroquois. Okay. We fire the Iroquois all the time. Used to that one. Wooden wedge is called a coin, which in French means wedge of wood. That is used to adjust the elevation of the barrel. Now we'll be aiming at the second O on the side of the Iroquois Hotel down there where it says Iroquois. Take the brass gunner's pick again. This breaks open the main charge, and now I can use a smaller grain of gunpowder to act as the priming charge. Normally carried in a powder horn, today we just use a musket charge. Run down the vent hole, it meets up with the main charge, and that acts as a crude powder fuse. Keep a small amount on top, and that is the priming charge. Now it's all set to go. What we'll use to light that is called a port fire. It's a cardboard tube with a gunpowder solution inside. And once it's lit, it burns very slow and hot like a road flare, and it actually will drip a liquid flame. To light this, the 20th century version of flint and steel, round Bic lighter. They would have kept their port fire lit at all time during battle. We just light it for each demonstration.